Welcome to Blackwater County, the last place you'll ever visit. This chilling tale is brought to you by Whispers and Wonder Channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe so you won't miss any episodes. It had been 3 days since Marcus disappeared. 3 days since his abandoned cruiser was discovered in Blackwater County with a single bullet casing on the seat. Sheriff Dalton had searched the area with his 2 deputies, but they hadn't found a trace of the missing detective. It was as if he'd vanished into thin air. Dalton stood on the porch of the Mills farmhouse, staring out at the endless rows of corn. He'd hoped the relentless heat would drive whatever was haunting these parts back into the shadows. But by midday, it was clear that whatever evil infested this land had no intention of hiding. He turned toward the sound of voices and saw Deputy Ben Carter talking to a young woman. "Ma'am, we've been over this," Ben said gently. "You need to come inside. It's not safe out here." "My brother, he wouldn't listen to you, would he?" The woman's eyes were red-rimmed and swollen. "We found him in the field," Ben said, nodding toward the corn. "He took his own life. It was the only way out for him." She looked from Ben to the corn and back again. "He didn't know. If he'd only listened to me, he wouldn't have come here. He wouldn't have seen what's in the fields. God, I tried to warn him, but you can't stop it once they're here." Ben reached out to touch her arm, but she flinched away. He hesitated, then dropped his hand to his side. "You should go inside, ma'am, please." She turned and walked slowly toward the house, her shoulders slumped. Ben watched her go, then looked back at the corn. Whatever had taken the life of Marcus Hale had claimed another victim, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. He ran a hand through his sweat-dampened hair and pulled out his cell phone. He had 1 bar, barely enough to send a text. He typed frantically, hoping the sheriff would see the message. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows across the cornfields, Ben felt a tap on his shoulder. He whirled around, gun drawn, and saw the sheriff standing there, his face grim. "We have to get out of here," Dalton said urgently. "Whatever's out there is feeding, and we're next." The Blood Harvest had claimed another victim, but Detective Marcus Hale's disappearance didn't go unnoticed. His partner, Sarah Chen, arrived in Blackwater County 2 weeks later, determined to uncover the truth. Sarah's instincts screamed danger from the moment she crossed the county line. The air felt thick, oppressive, as if the very atmosphere was trying to push her away. She ignored the warning signs, her resolve fueled by years of friendship and a gnawing sense of guilt. At the sheriff's office, she met a wall of silence. Deputies averted their eyes, muttering excuses. Sheriff Dalton was conveniently out of town. Sarah's frustration mounted with each dead end. She found herself at the abandoned Mills farmhouse, retracing Marcus's steps. The cornstalks whispered in the breeze, their leaves tinged with an unnatural crimson. Sarah's hand instinctively went to her holster as she approached the front door. Inside, the air was stale, heavy with the scent of decay. Sarah's flashlight beam caught something glinting on the floor, Marcus's badge, caked with dried blood. Her heart raced as she bagged the evidence, knowing she was onto something big. That night, Sarah dreamed of Marcus. He stood in a field of blood-red corn, his eyes hollow and pleading. 7 years, he whispered. "The cycle is almost complete." She awoke in a cold sweat, the motel room suffocating. Outside, a figure darted between the shadows. Sarah grabbed her gun and gave chase, plunging into the cornfield. The stalks seemed to close in, grasping at her clothes. Whispers filled the air, a cacophony of tormented voices. Sarah stumbled, disoriented, until she found herself in a small clearing. A stone altar stood at its center, ancient and stained dark. Surrounding it were 7 burlap-wrapped figures, their faces hidden beneath hoods. They turned as one to face her. Sarah raised her gun, but her fingers wouldn't respond. Paralyzed, she watched as one figure approached, pulling back its hood to reveal Sheriff Dalton's weathered face. "You shouldn't have come," he said, his voice filled with a mixture of pity and resignation. "The fields demand their due. We can't stop it, only appease it." The other figures removed their hoods, revealing familiar faces. Townspeople Sarah had questioned, all bearing the same haunted expression. "Join us," Dalton intoned, "or join the harvest." Sarah felt a presence behind her. She turned to see Marcus, his skin pale and eyes vacant. He reached for her with blood-stained hands. She screamed, the sound swallowed by the rustling corn. The figures closed in, chanting in an ancient tongue. Sarah felt her will slipping away as darkness consumed her. Miles away, in a bustling city precinct, a young detective picked up a case file. "Missing person," it read. "Detective Sarah Chen, last seen entering Blackwater County." The cycle continued, and the fields of Blackwater waited, hungry for the next harvest.